right. Back in 2007, I think, when I was playing with Tantrum.
Oh, so that's quite recent.
2007. I feel old now. That's a long time ago. But yeah. Okay.
When you're in 2014, maybe. But I was thinking seven-string guitars might have been there in the world.
They have. But in the Sri Lankan rock and metal scene, I don't know many people who are playing 7 strings back then.
But now, when you speak about the very exciting release that's happening very soon for Naveen, let's talk about that. This is an EP, isn't it?
That's right.
What's an EP?
I'm not really sure, but I think
don't look at me like this is very
like, why did you ask me that now?
Yeah, why did you ask me? I just don't know what an EP is.
Okay, it's well, it's something that comes after a single, if you ask me. That's how I'd explain it. Maybe there are experts who can define it better. I think it stands for extended play, and then you get the LP, the long play.
So the name of the EP is Death of an Avatar,
that's
if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be speaking more about that, about the new EP that's coming out, how that's going, as well as being rockers in the Sri Lankan music scene in general. But right now we're going for a very short commercial break. Do stay with us on Good Morning Sri Lanka. Rock on the show this morning on Good Morning Sri Lanka, and we have Arjun and Vijay Das who are here. They're members of Naveem, and they're going to be speaking to us especially about the new EP that's coming out. I just found out on the earlier segment what an EP is exactly. This is Death of an Avatar. What's the inspiration behind this?
Well, this is something that I wrote quite some time back. It's quite a delayed release, if you ask me.
What do you mean by quite some time back?
Okay, say 2009 is when it started to formulate, and these songs have matured a lot over the years. It's drawing a lot from my personal experiences back then as a teenager. That's when you're kind of trying to make sense of what's going on in the world and yourself. So I think there's a bit of anger there,
and I guess everyone might have to listen to the song and listen to the single and the EP.
Yes.
And decide how much anger they can find in that track.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's one song which is a bit critical of religion, because at that time I found a lot of the people preach a lot of things which they never really put into practice in their day-to-day lives. I saw a lot of hypocrisy. And back then I was more gutsy to just speak about it in a very in-your-face kind of way. And
it's a very open and honest track there coming out. But what about the audience? What do you find that the rock audience in Sri Lanka expects? And is it sort of hard to meet their expectations sometimes? Vijay?
Well, I guess that it's a mixed bunch. Some of them actually just like the melodies and they just come for the compositions. Well, you get a handful of them, I think, who are now getting into the lyrics and the concepts, and that side is developing more. Actually, we want to expand a bit more to that segment.
But when did you start out with Naveem?
Well, officially it was 2010, I think, when we performed.
But you see a difference between 2010 and right now, the audience as well. Do you feel that they are a bit more receptive to the, I don't know, nuances of rock music?
Yes, I mean, over the past decade, we've seen, a huge change in the fan base. It's been growing. So many bands have sprung up, into the scene, and so yeah, I mean, there's a lot more appreciation for this kind of music, for progressive rock and stuff like that. So yeah.
But is it tough in the Sri Lankan music industry, in the local music industry? We always ask this question from artists who actually come on the show, and many of them do say that you can't really make it as a musician. Do you have the same opinion as well?
Well, I'm kind of optimistic about that. I think you can.
It's lovely. It's lovely to have optimism on the show this morning.
It's sort of growing, and from what I've observed, it's come a long way. And I think even recently we had an international band come down, Red Circuit and Chitra Somapala, that shows, that things are changing. So there was a huge crowd as well at that.
Yes, there was a show with Jayashri as well as Chitra Somapala, who were here on the studio of Good Morning Sri Lanka as well earlier on in the week. And did you catch that show?
Yes, we were lucky enough to go, hang out backstage also with the guys.
Wow.
Real down-to-earth guys, and they gave us a lot of
inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration and tips on how to, how to hold it together as a band, because yeah, it can be frustrating at times.
Definitely. But I guess when you look at it in that way, they are prime examples of people who have gone far in their genre, haven't they? And they've really taken it to the next level.
Yes.
So then other younger artists can also follow in their footsteps now, and they've really paved the way.
Yeah.
So being pioneers is important. But on that note, who are your inspirations musically when it comes to what you play and what the direction that Naveem goes in?
Well, the elements you'll find on this release would be heavy metal bands like Death. You'll get a bit of Judas Priest.
Judas Priest. I'm a Judas Priest fan.
And what else? How about your influences?
Mirror
Eastern music,
bands
maybe?
like
Do you find Sri Lankan touches in your music?
Sri Lankan
with the beats and groove,
mainly
you find a lot of
grooves.
Sri Lankan touches to it. Then some of the
Because
stuff I do
fusion is a
with
big thing now, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, people try to really fuse the East and the West and come up with their own.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't turn into another trend, because how I stumbled upon it was, I left the country in 2008 and I spent 3 years in India. I sort of I wanted to connect with this music and really absorb it. So rather than going to a school there and learning it the traditional way, I just immersed myself in that culture and started picking up. You hear music in the temples, it's just, you have to pick it up that way. You can't go and learn ragas and write it down and memorize stuff, and that
You
never
have to listen to
worked for
the
me.
Brahmin singing it on the road.
Yeah,
and
something
walking.
like that. You have to really pick it up. And so this style that I developed kind of came from within me by just piecing this stuff together. And so you find even when I play metal, it kind of sneaks in there. So you get that nice intro to it.
Yes, that is a very, very nice intro, and you'll have to get the EP if you want to listen to that intro, because it is a very nice intro. I was lucky enough to listen to it here in the studio.
And also some unreleased material, which was
unreleased material, which we really can't play on the show this morning. We almost did, but we saved you there.
luckily, yes.
I could have been an exclusive, sort of release on Good Morning Sri Lanka. No?
Yeah, just that people would hear that finally out in an album maybe a year from now, because it's still
or maybe sooner, you never know.
It's just demos that we throw back and forth. I just sit in the studio, write something, and like, hey, check this out. They'll come back and tell me, dude, write something, and I'm like, that's not
just
how I write
tweak it a
music.
bit here and there.
It just
that's
comes
the
to me.
dynamic of working with your own brother, isn't it? What's it like working with your
Honest
own brother?
criticism.
Yeah, honest criticism. Yeah, that's right.
I see. And anything else besides honest criticism that you get from
There's a lot
working
of
with your brother?
there's more openness. So if there's something really annoys you, you can be open about it and say, it's just not working for me. Whereas with when working with other musicians, I found that you got to be a little polite. Here it's just straight up front. That's it. I don't like this about it, and
yeah, that's true. And that maybe that really brings your music to a better level, and it really helps you to have great music coming out there, because you have open, honest criticism coming your way. I'm sure that's a lot of fun when it's the Das Brothers. But that's it, all right, gentlemen. So that's it, all the time we have on the program this morning.
I'd like to sneak one thing in there.
Sneak it in.
This EP is going to be up for free streaming for everyone. Just we want you to get your hands on it,
Yes.
So you can check it out on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Naveem NEVIIM.music, and we'll be putting this stuff up there for you to stream for free. But of course, if you want to own it, maybe put it on your iPod, you can buy it off iTunes. And
so it's there on iTunes as well?
It will be on iTunes, March 1st.
March 1st is the day you have to look out for when it comes to getting your hands on the newest EP out by Naveem. And of course, you mentioned the Facebook page as well. So I'll spell it out for you again. That's NEVIIM, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Get your hands on some of the newest material, and we had the Das Brothers on the show. It was great having you, Arjun, as well as Vijay. All the best for the coming years as well. Rock on. That's the correct word.
Yes.
There we go. So that's what I'm going to leave you with this morning. We hope you have a rocking day ahead, and we'll see you on tomorrow's show as well. Till then, take care and have a great day.